Hey guys, today we are going to look at the Maths Negeri Sembilan 2026 Paper 1. Let's go. Section A, Question 1. Diagram 1 shows the straight line graph obtained when this is reduced to linear form. Okay, so basically, if you plot x against y, okay, if our axis is x and y, this will be a curved graph. Okay, this is a cubic graph, it will be a curved graph. So we have to make it into a straight line graph by manipulating the axis. Okay, we change the axis a bit, then we linearize this. Right. A, express x and y in terms of x and y. So they want us to find what we need to change into the x and y axis to get it into a straight line graph. Alright. So here, the clue is actually here, the y-intercept. Y-intercept is negative 7. So here, we need to make the negative 7 stand alone. Okay, why we need to make it stand alone is because our general equation of straight line is y max plus c. So if you realize, your y-intercept must be a standalone. That means it's just a constant. Cannot have x and y attached to it. It's just c lah. So here, this negative 7 has the x cube attached to it. So you have to get rid of that guy. So y equals to negative 7x cube plus 5, right? So to get rid of the x cube, we divide this whole thing by x cube. So we get y over x cube equals to negative 7 plus 5 over x cube. Okay. Now we already got c as a standalone term. Then we rearrange lah. So we keep this here. 5 over x cube we bring in front, minus 7. Okay, we want to get as close as possible to this. So y-intercept we put at the back already. Now mx. So this is y. Mx is together here. So if you want to clearly see the m and x, we have to split this further. So y over x cube is 5 times 1 over x cube minus 7. So this is our y-axis, this is m, this is x, and this is c. So y-axis is this, x-axis is this, y-intercept checks out now. Y-intercept is negative 7, betul? And our gradient would be 5. Okay, that one later maybe we can use. Right, so we can straight away answer A already. A, we can say x-axis sama dengan 1 over x cube, and y-axis is y over x cube. This will be our final answer. Done. So if we convert the axis into 1 over x cube and y over x cube, we will get straight line. Okay, that is basically what linearizing is all about lah. Alright, let's look at B. So B, they want us to find the value of h. Okay, h is right here. So h is the x-intercept kan. So what we can do is, since we have the gradient, we can use the gradient formula to solve this. So gradient is negative y-intercept over x-intercept. This is one of the formula for gradient. So this is our y-intercept, negative 7. X-intercept is h, and our gradient is 5. So then we swap these two, h go up, 5 come down. So h will be 7 over 5. Done. Okay, let's say you don't know this formula. Okay, this is not so popular formula. The most popular gradient formula would be y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. You can use this formula also. Just that you need to do a bit extra work. So these coordinates, these points, we have to write it as coordinates. So this will be 0, -7, because at this particular point x is 0. Here y is 0, so it will become h0. Then same thing lah. Gradient is 5. The y2, y1 all you can put inside. You will still get the same answer. Done. 4 marks here. Question 2. In a geometry progression, it's given that the value of the first term is half the value of the common ratio. Okay. So before that, we have geometry progression. So geometry progression got these two formula. Tn is AR n minus 1. Sn would be AR n minus 1 over R minus 1. Right, now we can proceed. So here they said the value of the first term is A lah, is half the value of the common ratio. So it's half R. So A equals to half R. Right, let's look at A. Find the value of the first term and the common ratio if the value of the third term is 1372. So third term is 1372. Right. So third term, we can put it into this formula. T3 would be AR 3 minus 1, which is basically AR square lah. Okay, 3 minus 1 is 2. So we get this. Then, since we already know A is 1 over 2 R kan, so we sub this into this A. Okay, this is the information they gave us earlier. So 1 over 2 R times R square equals to 1372. So we multiply this, we get 1 over 2 R cube is 1372. Then R cube will be 1372 times 2. So 1372 times 2, 2744. So R will be the cube root of 2744. We get 14. So we already found the R. Now we can find A lah. A is just half of R. So A is half of 14. So A is 7. Done. So we got A and R. So we can just write it here. A is 7. R is 14. Okay, just for future reference. Right, A done. Next, let's look at B. Sum of the first n terms. No, it's only 1 mark. Alright. So we need to find Sn. So we already know Sn's formula is this. So we just sub in the values that we have. So A is 7. R is 14 over 14 minus 1. Then 14 minus 1 is 13. So we can write this as 7 over 13 times 14n minus 1. Done. That's it. Question 3. Diagram 2 shows the straight line CE is a perpendicular bisector of the straight line BD. So this guy is the perpendicular bisector of this line. Okay, perpendicular bisector means it bisects right in the middle. So these two are same length. Therefore, point C is actually the midpoint of B and D lah. Okay. So they gave us the equation of BD and they asked us to find the coordinates of C. Okay. So this equation that they gave is called the intercept form. So if they write it like this, means this and this will be our x and y intercept. So our y-intercept is 2 and our x-intercept is -4. Okay, so if you write it in coordinate form, this would be -4, 0, This would be 0, 2. Okay, this is called the intercept form. This is another way of writing a straight line equation. Right. So now we need to find the coordinates of C, and C is the midpoint. So we just use the midpoint formula. So we can say C is x1 plus x2 divided by 2 and y1 plus y2 divided by 2. So we get -2 and 1. Done. Then B, the equation of straight line CE. Right. So now that we have the coordinates of CE, okay, we write it here lah. This is -2, 1. Now we need to find this equation. So this is a straight line. That means we must solve y(mx) plus c. Right. So to solve y(mx) plus c, first thing we need is the gradient. Then we need the y-intercept. Okay, so let's try to find the gradient first. We know the equation of this line. And we know this is a perpendicular line. So this gradient, if we find, this gradient will be the negative reciprocal. So you can easily find this gradient. You have your coordinates. So you can say gradient of BD is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So this is 2 over 4, which is 1 over 2. So this is the gradient of this line. Now we can find gradient of CE. It is the negative reciprocal. So negative reciprocal means you terbalikkan. So if 1 over 2 you terbalikkan, you'll get 2 over 1. 2 over 1 is just 2 lah. So gradient of CE, we got it ready. Now next we need to find the y-intercept. Okay, to find this, you just masukkan your y and x value with your m value. You can find this guy lah. So we know the x and y. You must use coordinate C because this line passes through this coordinate. If you put in this value or this coordinate, you will get a wrong answer. Okay, because if you use this coordinate means, that means you're finding a line that passes through this point. This one also cannot, because you will find a line that passes through this. So if you want the line passing through this point, this will be your y, this will be your x. So we sub it into our equation. Y is 1. Sorry, let me use the dark blue. 1. M is -2. X is -2 plus C. Okay, so basically I'm subbing this equation. So -2 times -2 is 4. 1 minus 4 is -3. So C is -3. Makes sense lah. Okay, this line cuts somewhere here. So this can be -3. Right, so now we can rewrite our equation. Y equals to -2x minus 3. This will be our straight line equation. Done. That's it. Question 4. Diagram 3 shows a triangle ABC. So this is a right angle triangle. They gave us the length of AC, the length of AB. They never give us length of BC. Okay. Then they want us to find trigola basically. So we can start by finding this length so that we can solve any question. Okay. Since it's a right angle triangle, we can use Pythagoras theorem to solve the length. Pythagoras theorem is this. This will be our A, this will be our B, and this has to be C, hypotenuse. So let's call A BC. B will be P square, C will be 1 square. So BC is 1 square, which is 1, minus p squared. So making BC the subject, we get square root of 1 minus p squared. Square root of 1 minus p squared. Right. Now we got that done. We can solve any question that comes our way, because we have all the lengths ready. Right. So A, they want us to find what is sine square theta. Sine square theta is the same as sine theta times sine theta. Or we can say sine theta square. So sine theta, according to So Tua, So is opposite over hypotenuse. So if this is our angle, this is our opposite, hypotenuse, adjacent. Right here, adjacent. So sine theta is O over H. So our opposite is P, hypotenuse is 1, and we square. So P over 1 is just P, so we get P squared. Done. And then B, secant theta. Okay, so we have three special trigos other than sine, cos, and tangent. We have secant, cosecant, and cotangent. Secant, cosecant, and cotangent, the formulas are not given, but you can easily remember from the third alphabet. Secant is 1 over cos theta, because the third alphabet is C. Cosecant is 1 over sine theta, and cotangent will be 1 over tangent theta. Okay, so the clue is in the third alphabet. Okay, T means 1 over tangent, S means 1 over sine, and so on. Right, so here we want to find secant. So secant theta would be 1 over cos theta. And cos theta is adjacent over hypotenuse. So we can say 1 over adjacent, which is this, over hypotenuse. Hypotenuse is 1. Okay, so basically anything over 1 is just it's just the same thing. So we can just delete this, and this will be our answer. Done. That's it. So they gave us 3 marks for this question. This is not so hard. I would rate it 4 out of 10 in difficulty. Question 5. Diagram 4 shows 9 points in a circle. Find the number of triangles that can be formed inside the circle if the points form vertices of a triangle. Okay. So out of these 9 points, if you want to make a triangle, you only need 3 points. So this is a permutation combination question. So out of 9 points, we can either do 9C3 or 9P3, because we only need 3 points out of the 9. Right. 9C3 means the arrangement don't matter. So let's say you choose XRV, XVR, VRX, all these we consider as one triangle. XVR, this one, XRV or VRX, it's all the same triangle. So it's considered as one triangle. If you choose 9P3, that means XRV, VRX, XVR, all these are considered different triangles, which is not true because actually they are the same triangle. You choose XRV, or you choose VRX, or you choose XVR, they just form the same triangle. So the arrangement don't matter. So in this case, it should be 9C3. Right, so let's write it 9C3. Oops. 9C3, we get 84. So there are 84 different triangles we can make using these 9 points. Done. Right, let's look at B. So B, they're asking us to find the number of ways to arrange the letters in a circle if the letters U and V are separated. So these two letters are separated. Okay. Separation question is a bit hard to do if you just trying to separate them. The easiest way would be is to find the number of ways when there is no condition at all. That means without any separation. Okay, so you find the total number of ways to rearrange them. And then we find the number of possible ways if we attach them together, because attaching is easier than separating. So you find the number of ways without condition minus the number of ways to attach them together. We minus them, right? We'll get the number of ways they are separated. Okay. So if no condition for a circle, you just do, the formula is n minus 1 factorial. Okay, so in this case, we have total of 9 numbers, 9 points. So it's 9 minus 1 factorial. Right. And then if we combine them, so if we tie them up together, okay, now u and v are considered 1. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So since we already tie them up together, we considered it as 1. We have 8 alphabets. So 8 minus 1 factorial. But among them, they can swap within each other. So u can go there, v can come here. So we have to multiply 2 factorial because they can swap among each other. So you type this in your calculator, you'll get your answer. 9 minus 1 factorial. Factorial is here. Minus 8 minus 1 factorial times 2 factorial. So there are 30,240 possible ways. Done. So this is with no condition. That means everything also campur, okay, in a circle. This is when we tie them up together. So if we minus the no condition at all, with them tied up together, we will get how many ways to separate them. Okay, how many ways we can arrange with them being separated. That is B. Done. Question 6. Diagram 5 shows point A on the Cartesian plane. So this is point A. State vector OA in this form. So this is the matrix form. We need to state the vector OA. So OA means whenever a vector starts with O, right, we call this the position vector. So from O to A, we need to find the vector. It's actually very easy, position vector. You just convert the coordinates into vector form. So in this case, OA is just xy. So -3, -1. That's it. This is probably the easiest question in this paper. Right, done. Next, B. Point A is reflected about the x-axis to point A prime. So point A, we reflect it about this axis. So A prime would be somewhere here. So we can call this A prime. So if you reflect about the x-axis means your x coordinate will still be the same. So -3. But the y coordinate will change. So here our y coordinate is -1. So you go up here would be +1. So it's just 1. Right. Then they said OB is given as 3i plus 4j. So this is also position vector. So when they give us position vector, you can easily convert it to coordinates. This would literally be 3, 4. So 3, 4 would be somewhere here. Alright. They want us to find the unit vector in the direction A prime B. So A prime is here, B is here. They want us to find this vector. So to go from this to this, we can go through A prime O plus O prime plus OB. This plus this will give us this one. So that's That would be our plan lah. So we can say A prime B would be A prime O plus OB. Alright. So to double check our addition, the first alphabet and the last alphabet must give us our subject. And the middle alphabets here must be something similar. If O means O, if C means both also must be C. If J means this both also must be J. Okay, so this would be easiest because we have this vector and this vector. We can get it quite easily lah. Right. Let's see how to get these two vectors. So from O to A, very easy to find because position vector. So OA would be -3, 1. So A prime O would be the opposite. So you just put negative in front. Okay, terbalik lah. If you terbalik this one, you just put negative. Right. Then OB, vector OB would be 3, 4. Alright, so now that we have this and this, we can put it back into our equation. A prime O is -3, 1. OB would be 3, 4. So -3 plus 3, basically 3 plus 3 is 6. -1 plus 4 would be 3. So this is the vector A prime B. But they want us to find the unit vector. Okay. Unit vector's formula, unit vector has a small hat like this. So unit vector is easy. You just have to do the vector divided by magnitude. So the vector we write it as 6i plus 3j. Magnitude is just square root of 6 square plus 3 square. Unit vector's formula is given in exam now. Basically the vector divided by magnitude. Right. So 6 square plus 3 square. Square root of 6 square plus 3 square. We get 3 sub 5. So we can say 6i plus 3j divided by 3 sub 5. So you can split this also. So 6 over 3 sub 5 I plus 3 over 3 sub 5 j. Then we can simplify this. So we get 2 over sub 5i plus 1 over sub 5j. This would be our unit vector of A prime B. Done. That's it. Question 7a. Given that this equals to 9, find the value of this in terms of k. Right. So this is an integration question. But I don't think we need to integrate these kind of questions lah. So let's see. We need to find this in terms of k. So 1, 3 gx dx. Right. We have 3, 1 gx dx. Oh, sorry, I forgot the k. So here got k. Alright, so what we can do is first, we can take out the k. So for integration, whatever constants we have, we can just take it out first. So we write k 1, 3 gx dx. Like this. Then since we have 3, 1 gx dx is 9, 1, 3 gx dx would be -9. So this will be -9k. Okay, so you don't have to integrate. You just have to know that when the limits are reversed, you have to make it negative lah. Okay, so 3, 1 gx dx is +9 means 1, 3 would be -9. So this will be our answer. This is just a 1 mark question. 7b. A curve has a gradient function dy dx is this and passes through this point. Find the equation of the curve. Right. Whenever we want to find equation of a curve or a straight line, we need to find y equals to something, something, something. So basically, here they gave us the dy dx. We need to convert this to y. So converting dy dx to y would be integration, because converting y to dy dx, differentiation. So going the other way would be opposite lah, integration. So we need to integrate the dy dx to get y. So we know dy dx is this, we need to integrate this guy. So integrate 5 over 2x minus 3 square. Then we must write dx here, because we are integrating with respect to x. That's what this means. Right, before we can integrate, we can try to optimize this. So what we can do is, this guy, we can bring it up. So when you bring this term up, the power will become negative. So you write 5, 2x minus 3, negative 2 dx. Okay. Then we can optimize some more. Whenever you want to integrate and you have a constant, you can bring out the constant, because nothing happens to the constant when you integrate. So we can just bring it out now. Okay, now we can start integrating. So the constant remains there. When you integrate this, the power must plus 1. So negative 2 plus 1, negative 1. Then you divide by the new power, and then you have to multiply with the first derivative of here. So you differentiate this one, we get 2, we put it here. And then since this is indefinite integral, that means no limits. If indefinite integral, don't forget to plus c. This one most students will forget. Okay, don't forget plus c. Then we need to find the c lah. That's where you get most of the marks. Okay, the remaining marks. So to find c, they gave us the clue here. These are our coordinates x, y. So you can put the y here and the x here, and we can actually find c. So let's sub this in. This one, since it's power negative 1, what we can do is we can bring it down. So we can say 5, down here is negative 2, 2x minus 3, and since on top got nothing, we put 1 plus c. Then of course we sub the x with our x value here, then we try to solve lah. Okay, so basically this one negative 1, right? So we can bring it down power 1. Okay, and then nothing left on top, so you must put 1 lah. Okay, it's not 0. Alright, we can type this in our calculator. What's happening here? Number. Oops. Okay. So 5 times 1 over negative 2 times 2 minus 3. So here we get 2.5. Okay. So since this whole thing is 2.5, we bring here become negative. So we say 4 minus 2.5, we get 3 over 2. So we can say C is 3 over 2. So now we can finally write our equation. So basically you write all this without the y and the x, but with the c. So you can say y equals to 5, 1 over negative 2, 2x minus 3 plus 3 over 2. Okay, so if you want to make it neater, this 5 we can times inside lah. So it will become 5 over this plus 3 over 2. That's it. That will be the answer for this question. Done. So the tricky part is finding the c lah. Okay, you shouldn't forget that you need to find the c. So to find the c, we just sub in the x and y values. Here they already gave us nicely. So just put that and find c. That's it. Question 8. Diagram 6 shows the relationship between set x, y, and z. Given that set x is mapped to set y by this function. So x mapped to y is 2x minus 1 over 3. And mapped to set z by this function. So x to z is g of x, which is 5x plus 7 over 2. Right. A. Write the function that maps set x to set y using function notation. So we need to find this function. Okay. So if we write the relationship between x, y, and z in a straight line, the function that maps x to z is a composite function g of x. Okay, here we need to know that whenever you have a composite index, this first function is actually the last one here. So this one is actually fx and this one is gx. So how do we get this? Basically, if this was x, okay, this is x, the function of x, okay, f of x will get us fx here. This will be fx. Okay, the function of x, the f of x. Here the function, so basically this is now the object. So the function of our object would be g of fx. So we'll end up with g of x, which is telling here. So basically, if you want to split the composite function, you must put the f first and then the g. Okay, the one at the back first and then only the one in front. Okay, so f and g will give us g of fx. Right. So question A, they want us to write the function that maps x to y, right? So x to y is basically function f lah. So we just say fx equals to this, 2x minus 1 over 3. Done. That's A. Right, then we need to find B. B, they want us to find the function that maps set y to set z. So y to z would be the function g. So we need to find gx. Right. So let's list down what we have here. We have fx. Fx is 2x minus 1 over 3. We have gfx. Gfx is 5x plus 7 over 2. And we need to find gx. Okay, to find gx, we need to get rid of the fx from the gfx. So to get rid of fx, you must sub f inverse x here. So we need to find f inverse x first lah. So gx is basically gf f inverse x. Because the f inverse and f will cancel out, giving us gx. So first step, we need to find this guy, f inverse x. Okay, so we can say let f inverse x equals to y. So fy equals to x. This is the first step of finding inverse function. Okay, so if fx is 2x minus 1, fy would be 2y minus 1 over 3 equals to x. Then from here we need to make y the subject because y is the one that represents f inverse x. So we try to make y the subject. 3x plus 1 divided by 2. So we can say f inverse x is 3x plus 1 over 2. Okay, we got this guy ready. Oops. Okay, now we need to find gx. How to find gx? We sub the f inverse into our gfx. So sub f inverse into here. 5 f inverse x plus 7 over 2. Okay, we need to sub this x with f inverse. So f inverse is 3x plus 1 over 2 . So from here we expand, we get 15x plus 5 over 2 plus 1, whole thing divided by 2. Oh, not enough space. Okay, let me erase all these. Oh, you know what? I can erase this one. Erase A. Oops, no, whole thing erased. Erase this. Okay. Nice. Right. Okay, actually this is 7. I accidentally wrote 1. So here we try to simplify the top part first. So here this 7 is basically 14 divided by 2. So you can say 14 divided by 2. And then the top part, since the denominators are now same, you can say 15x plus 5 plus 14 divided by 2. And then the whole thing divided by 2. So I just write divide 2 here. So this will become 15x plus 19 over 2 times, so if you have divide by 2, basically this is 2 over 1. So it will change to times 1 over 2. So if you multiply this by 1 over 2, we get this over 4. So this will be our gx. That's it. That's B. Question 9. Given that log of this equals to 3, can be expressed in the form of this. So they want us to make D the subject. Right, then state the value of y. Okay, so we have log 1 over 3 log CD equals to 3. Okay, one of the rules of log is when you have log x, y, let's say, equals to 2. When you move the x over here, this will become x power 2. So whenever you're moving log, the base will push the number up to become a power. Then the log will go missing. So this is the rule of log. So here, if we move this over here, the 1 over 3 will push the 3 up. This will become 1 over 3 power 3. And here will be left with log CD lah. Okay, so 1 over 3 cubed will be 1 over 27 equals to log CD. And then again, we do the same thing. So log C, we move up here. This will become C to the power of 1 over 27 equals to D. Okay, so remember when you move the log, the base will push the power up, becoming, push the number up, becoming power. And then the log will go missing. So here we are just left with D. Right, so we already expressed it in this form. Now they want us to state the value of y. So this one lah. So y would be 27. Done. That'll be the answer for A. Okay, now let's try B. No, B is 4 marks. Wow, I think this will be a bit longer. Given x is an integer, solve the equation. Okay, so let's write down the equation first. 20 minus 2x plus 2 equals to 24. Okay, so whenever you have this kind of questions, we try to take this guy out. Okay, 2 to the power of x, because we have similar things, right? So then later we can simplify. So this will become 20, 2 to the power of x, power 1 over 2, because square root is power 1 over 2. And then here we have 2x plus will become times. So 2x times 2 square equals to 24. Okay, this is the rules of indices. If you have a to the power of 2 plus x, this will become a to the power of 2 times a to the power of x. Okay, but instead of writing times, we just use bracket lah, easier. So that's what I did here. Right, then we continue. So here what we can do is, since we have 2x, we can make our life easier by letting 2x equals to an alphabet. So let's just say y. So I can write 20 y power 1 over 2, or I can just write it as square root y minus, here we'll get 4y. 4y equals to 24. So here we are dealing with a square root. So what we have to do is, the easiest way would be leaving the square root one side. We bring the 4y over here, and then we square the whole thing. So when we square, we'll get rid of the square root lah. So 20, if we square it, we'll get 400. Square root y square will be y. Here 24 square is 576. Okay, this one, you must remember, this one has two terms. So when you square two terms, you will get three terms. Okay, the first one, this is the shortcut lah. Okay, you can do the long way of doing it like this, and then you expand. Okay, you will still get three terms, but you can also use the shortcut where the first term is a to the power of 2. Okay, a square. The last term over here is b power of 2, b square. Then the middle term here will be 2 times the first term times the second term. So it will become 2ab, also positive. Okay, so in this case, we have this square. So we'll get three terms. The first term is 24 squared. The last term would be 4y squared. So 4y squared will be 16y. Oops. 16y squared. And then the second term, the term in the middle, will be this times this times this. So 2 times 24 times 4. 192 y. Okay, so 2 times 24 times 4y, we get 192y. Right, now we can rearrange this and then we can factorize. So we have 16y square plus 192y. Then the 400y, we bring it over that side. It will become minus 400y plus 576 equals to 0. Okay, let's try to factorize this. First, we can simplify the 192y minus 400. We get negative 208. Okay, so before factorizing, we have to simplify it. So 16208 can be 1 over 13. Okay, let's see, 576 can divide by 16. Also can. So the whole equation, we can divide 16. Actually, must write it here. Not enough space. Okay, you know what? I'm just going to bring this here and continue. Okay. So the whole thing can be divided by 16. So we'll get y square minus 36y. Was it 36? 208 divided by 16 is, 13. Minus 13y. This is 36. Then we use our factorization. A is 1, B is negative 13, C is 36. So we get y equals to 4 and y equals to 9. Don't forget to put it into the bracket. So y minus 4, y minus 9. Okay, so now we can put this back. Okay, the y was just a temporary alphabet for us to solve easily. So you can put the 2x back. So 2 to the power of x equals to 4. 2x equals to 9. So here x will become 2. Okay, x will become 2 squared. So x is 2 lah. Here we cannot make it into an integer because 2 to the power of nothing can give us 9. So you can reject this because they already say x has to be an integer. So the value of x would be 2. This will be the final answer. Done. Question 10. A random variable follows a binomial distribution with 3 trials. So the possible outcomes will be 0, 1, 2 and 3. Right. They want us to find the value of m and n. Okay. So this is the total, all the probabilities here. So the total probability, if you add up everything, must equal to 1. So it's quite easy to find m and n. You just have to write 1 over 64 plus m plus n plus 27 over 64 equals to 1. So making m plus n the subject, you get 1 minus 27 over 64 minus 1 over 64. So this will get us 1 over 64, 9 over 16. That's it. This is just a 1 mark question. These kind of questions they like to ask now and then. Okay, so you just have to remember the total probability of any distribution would be 1. Done. B. In a driving training center, it was found that 75% of practical driving test candidates passed on their first attempt. Sample of n passing candidates driving test was chosen at random. Probability of all candidates passing is this. Okay, so 75% passed the driving test. So our probability of success is 75%, which is 0.75. So probability of failure would be 1 minus this, which is 0.25 lah. 0.25. Okay. So here they said that the probability of all candidates passing. So we have, altogether we have n candidates. So probability of all n of them passing is 0.3164. Okay. So since this is a binomial distribution, our formula would be NCR, p to the power of r, q, n minus r. 0.3164. So now we sub in the values. So out of n, all n pass. So our r would also be n. Probability of success 0.75. Our n. Probability of failure n minus n. Okay, here our r will equal to n because out of n number of people, all n pass. Means r is also n lah. Okay, so NCN would be 1, 0.75 power n. N minus n is 0. So 0.25 power 0 would also be 1. Equals to 0.3164. Okay. So 1 and 1 we don't have to write. So it's basically 0.75 power n is 0.3164. So if you want to find n, you have to multiply the whole thing by log. So we just use log 10. So log 10, 0.75 power n is log 10 0.3164. Right. So log 10, you don't have to write the 10 because the short form for log 10 is LG. Right. So now we can bring the n down. This will become n log 0.75 equals to log 0.3164. So n would be log 0.3164 divided by log 0.75. So in your calculator, you just do log 0.3164 divided by log 0.75. Here we get 4. So n is 4. It means total there were 4 candidates chosen. So out of 4 candidates chosen, all 4 passed, and that probability is 0.3164. Right. N is 4. Okay. Now let's try to do number 2. So the probability that at least one candidate passes the driving test. Okay, at least one means x must be 1 or more. So we have x equals to 1 plus probability of x equals to 2 plus probability of x equals to 3 plus probability of x equals to 4. Okay, we stop at 4 because altogether got 4 people only we chose. Right. So this is obviously going to be super long because you have to do one by one the NCR for every single thing. So what we can do is all the possible outcomes are 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. We want to find all these probabilities. So what we can do instead is we know the total probability must equal to 1. Okay, so if you find all the probabilities and you add up, you will get 1. So the total probability minus the probability of 0, we will get this. So here I can write, this is also equals to 1 minus px equals to 0. Okay, so we don't have to do 4 times lah. You just do once, and then the whole probability minus 0, we will get this form. So 1 minus NCR p to the power of r q to the power of n minus r. So 4C0 times 0.75 power 0, 0.25 power 4. So we get 1 out of 256. So if you get the chance to write in fractions, you can just go ahead and write in fractions because this will be a more accurate answer lah. Okay, done. That's it. This will be the answer. Question 11. Diagram 7 shows a circular pond with center O located in a triangle shaped flower garden. Okay. Given that AB is 20, so here to here is 20 meters. Okay. BC is 21, so from here to here is 21. And then OP is 5, so this is 5 cm, 5 meters means here also 5 meters because this will be the radius. And then they said PB equals to QB, which is 12. So this is 12. QB is also 12. Okay. Alright. Okay, they want us to find the length of minor arc of the pond PQ. So this would be the minor arc PQ. This would be the major arc PQ. So we don't want major arc, we want minor arc. Right. So to solve this, we use the arc formula S equals to r theta. But r we have, theta we don't have. So first let's solve the theta. Right, what we can do is, since this is a tangent point, okay, usually if you draw a line and it connects to the center, this will be tangent. Tangent means 90 degrees. So what we can do is we split this triangle, we split this quadrilateral into two, we will get two right angle triangles. Okay, so now that we have right angle triangles, we can easily find the theta here. Okay, because this theta, if we find ready means, then we can just double it, it will be equal to this lah. Right, so right angle triangle unlocks SOHCAHTOA and Pythagoras theorem. So here we can use our SOHCAHTOA to find the angle. This will be adjacent. Okay, if this is our theta lah. Okay, this is our theta. That will be the adjacent. This will be the opposite. So adjacent and opposite would be tangent theta. Tangent theta opposite over adjacent. So tangent theta would be 12 over 5. That means theta will be shift tangent 12 over 5, which is 67.38. Right. Now that we have this theta, we can double it to find the whole theta. So we can say angle POQ is 2 times 67.38. So we get 134.76. Right. Okay. Now that we have the whole angle, I think I can erase this. Erase this, then we write here. This whole angle is 134 degrees, 134.76 degrees. Okay. Now we can easily find the arc length lah. We have the r radius, we have the theta. Okay, but one thing you have to remember is, when finding arc length, your theta must be in radians. So radius is 5. This theta we need to convert to radians. So 134.76 divide 180 times pi. So here they say pi, specifically use this. So we write 3.142. 5 times 11.762 meters. This will be the length of the arc PQ, the minor arc PQ. This one. Done. B. The total perimeter of the flower garden region bounded by the footpaths AP, CQ, CA, and major sector PQ. So they want us to find this perimeter. So we need all these lengths. Okay. Let me just use red color here. Or maybe a different color. Okay, let's use a bit thicker. So we want this length, this length, this length, and this length. Okay, that's the stuff that we're trying to find. Right. I think there will be a few stuff easy to find, because the total here is 20, and then from here to here is 12. So AP is easily 8 lah. 20 minus 12. So let's just write this is 8. This one also 8. Hey, no, sorry. This one will be 21 minus 12. 21 minus 12, this will be 9. From here to here will be 9. Here to here will be 8. Right. And then we need to find 2 more lengths left. This one is also quite similar to the one we did just now. This is an arc. So S equals to r theta. So we have the radius. We just don't know the theta. But theta is easy to find lah, because we already have this. So 360 minus this will give us this part. Okay, let's try to find the major arc PQ first. can say S equals to r theta. So S is PQ, okay, the major arc, radius is 5. Our theta would be 360 minus 134.76. But we have to convert this to radians. So divide 180 times pi. 5 times 360 minus 134.76, 180 times 3.142. So we get 19.658 meters. Okay, so this one also we already find 19.658. This is this length. Okay, then lastly we just have AC you need to find. Okay, to find AC, what we can do is, we know R touches the circle. So they already said here, each part touches the points at P, Q and R. So if it touches the circle means this is a tangent point. That means this will be 90 degrees. So if this is 90 degrees, what we can do is, we can split this triangle in two. So if we split this triangle in two, here 90, here 90. So it's a symmetrical triangle. So if this is 8 meters, this one also 8 meters. So you can write here, this is 8. And then we split this triangle also in two. Okay, so this is 90 here, this one also 90 here. So this length and this length will be same, symmetrical. Therefore, this will be 9 meters. Oops. From here to here. So now we have AC lah, 8 plus 9. So you can just write here, AC will be 8 plus 9, which is 17 meters. So the total perimeter will be 17. Okay, this length AC plus AP plus PQ plus CQ, which is 9. So 17 plus 8 plus 19.658 plus 9, we get 53.658 meters. This will be the total perimeter of the region that we are finding lah. This one, this one, this one, alamak. This one, this one, this one plus this one. Done. Right. Next, C. The area of the flower garden that is not covered by the pond. So they want us to find these areas. Okay, let's clean it up a bit. So we don't need all these. Don't need all these. This one also no need. 8 plus 9. Okay, this whole thing is 17. So just write 17 here. From here to here. Okay. So now what we can do is, to find that area, we can use this triangle. We find the whole area of the triangle minus the area of this circle. Then we'll get the remaining area. This one, this one, and this one. Okay, to solve the formula, to find the area of triangle, we can use 1 over 2 AB sine C. So we have, so all the length, basically we have this one, we have this one, we have this one. But we don't have any angles. I think we can easily find this angle since we already have this one. So what we do is, we split this again into 2. So 134.76. We divide it by 2, 67.38. Okay. So this one is 67.38. So if this is 67.38, this is 90, we can easily find this, because total angle in a triangle is 180. So 180 minus 90 minus 67.38, we get 22.62 here. So the whole angle will be double. Times 2, we get 45.24. So this angle, so now no need ready. This one is 45.24. Oops, cannot see. Right here. Okay, now we can do 1/2 AB sin C. So our formula for triangle, if this we take as A and B, this will be our angle C. If we take these two lines as A and B, this will be our angle C. If we take these two lines, this will be our angle C. The angle must be in between the lines. So this is A, this is B. So A is 20, B is 21, sine 45.24. So 1/2 times 20 times 21 times sine 45.24. We get 149.113. Okay, that's not the final answer, sorry. I accidentally underlined it. Right, so that is the area of triangle. Now we find the area of circle. So circle is just pi r square. So actually this whole thing, oops, wait, okay, I just take this, move it a bit. So the shaded region will be triangle minus pi r square. So we can just do it one shot lah. So this one minus pi r is 5 square. Oops. So this answer minus pi r square. So our total shaded region is 70.56 meters square. Done. So in an exam, you don't really have to write the units for admits, but you can still write it lah. Okay, so they want us to find the area in meters square, so this will be our final answer. That's it. Question 12. By using the substitution method, determine the first derivative of this. So first derivative means dy dx lah. Okay. So here we have y equals to 2, and then we have another function here, 3x minus 4 cube. So what we can do is we can let this function as u. So let u be 3x minus 4. Right. So our y will be 2 of u cube. Okay. So this substitution method is not always asked, but sometimes they like to ask now. So to do this kind of differentiation, we do dy dx. We use the chain rule. So the top one must write here, the bottom one we have to write here. So dy will go here, dx will go here, and here will be something common. So in this case, we use u lah. So we say du. Right. So if we have y in terms of u, we can find dy du. We just differentiate this lah. So this would be 6u square. This is dy du. And then we have u in terms of x. So if we differentiate this, we will get du dx. So differentiate 3x minus 4, we get 3. So this will give us 18u square. But the u is just temporary. We let u equals to this, right? So we have to put this back into the u. So 18 3x minus 4 square. This will be our dy dx. So we can write here dy dx is 18 3x minus 4 square. Done. Right. Let's try B. Hence, find the value of dy dx when x is 1.2. Okay. So basically you just have to sub this into here. So you can say dy dx is 18 3 times 1.2 minus 4 square. 18 times 3, 1.2 minus 4 square. We get 2.88. This will be the value of our dy dx when x is 1.2. Done. This is B1. Okay, B2. The approximate value of this and its percentage change. So if you look carefully at this looks very similar to this. Just that they swapped the x value. So basically what they're trying to ask us to find is the new value of y when x changes from 1.2 to 1.19. This is a small change question. Okay, so let's analyze a bit. So we have old values and we have new values. So old value of x is 1.2. The new value of x is 1.19. So from here, the small changes of x would be new x minus the old x. So 1.19 minus 1.20, this will give us negative 0.01. Okay, that's the small changes in x. Right. Then we have the old y. The old y is basically this equation where the x was 1.2 lah. So you can say 3 times 1.2 minus 4 cube. This is our old y. The new y is what we want to find. This one. But even though it's easier to find this straight away, just type in our calculator, we can't do that because we want to find the approximate value using small changes. So if you want to find the new y, you just have to do old y plus the changes in y. That will be the way to find the new y. Okay, which is what we want now. Okay, so old y we already have, which is this. You need to find delta y first. Okay, so the formula for small changes, delta y over delta x equals to dy over dx. So delta y will be dy over dx times delta x. So earlier we already found dy dx, then we already found delta x, so you just sub it in here. We'll get 2.88 times negative 0.01, which is negative 0.0288. Okay, this will be our delta y. So if you want to find the new y, which is this, you just do old y plus delta y. So new y would be old y is this one, 2 times 4 cube plus delta y. Okay, delta y is this one. No, not enough space. Plus delta y, which is negative 0.0288. 2, 3, 1.2 minus 4 cube plus negative 0.0288. We get negative 0.1568. This is our new value of y. So using our approximation, we can find the new value of y, basically the old y plus the changes in y, you will get new y. Next would be finding the percentage change. Okay, let me erase all this. We bring this up. Oops. Okay, so percentage change will be the changes in y, delta y, over the original y, okay, over the old y times 100%. This is the formula to find percentage change. Okay, so delta y we already found just now, this one, negative 0.0288. Old y is this, so we put this here, times 100%. Negative 0.0288, 2 times 3 times 1.2 minus 4 cube times 100%. We get 22.5%. So this is the percentage of change in y when we change the x from 1.2 to 1.19. Done. Section B, question 13. In a football match, a player performs a throw-in after the ball goes out of play. Okay, so this one shows the height of the ball after t seconds. This is the function of the height. The maximum height reached by the ball is given. By using method of completing the square, express ht in vertex form. Okay, so here we want to find ht in vertex form. So this is the current form we have. Okay, so to find in vertex form, first we need to make sure a is 1. So this is our a, this is b, this is c. Our a is currently not 1. So what we have to do is, we have to factor out the negative 1 over 3. So that our a is currently 1. So to factor out the negative 1 over 3, this one and this one and this one, basically everything, we have to divide it by negative 1 over 3. So the first one we already divide negative 1 over 3, we get 1. 2 divided by negative 1 over 3, we get negative 6. Here also will be same, negative 6. Okay, that's the first step. Making sure a is 1. Right, then the next step would be, you have to break down here, and then we plus bracket square. So negative 1 over 3, we have to break down here. So t square minus 60. Okay, then you plus bracket square minus bracket square, and then sambung the negative 6. So basically you break it down here, plus bracket square minus bracket square, and then this one sambung lah. Okay, basically you just insert the two brackets in between them. So inside the bracket would be b divided by 2. So this is our b. So negative 6 divide 2. Okay. Then negative 6 divided by 2 is basically negative 3. So this number and this number, we have to bring them together. So it would be t minus 3 squared. Okay, because this one is negative 3. So you write t minus 3, the whole thing squared. So this number will go missing, because when you expand this, you will get back 3 terms. So this one no need to write lah. And then at the back here, you just calculate using a calculator, then you can just put it in. So basically this is negative 3. So negative 3 square minus 6. We get negative 15. Then we expand this back. So this one we times this term and this term. So negative 1 over 3 t minus 3 square. 1 over 3 times 15, we get 5. So this will be ht in the vertex form. Done. Okay, then we need to find the value of p. So this vertex form, there's a reason we call it a vertex form, because we can easily find the vertex. So whichever number is here, you have to flip the symbol, flip the sign. So negative 3 here means 3 and 5 would be our vertex. So if here is negative, you just have to flip it to positive. This one you just write it lah. No need to flip. So our vertex is 3, 5. And then here they gave us our vertex 3p 5 over p. So we can say we can just compare lah. So we can say 3 equals to 3p. That means p equals to 1. Okay, you can use either one. So 5 over 1 is also 5. That's it. Next, B. Sketch the graph of ht from 0 to 6. Okay. So from A, we found the vertex is now. Vertex is 3, 5. So this point is 3, 5. Right. Let's erase this first. So we need to sketch the graph between 0 and 6. So on our Cartesian plane, 0 would be here, 6 let's say here. So we know the vertex is 3, 5. Right. So now what we need to do is, when x is 0, we need to find the value of y. Okay, or you can say when t is 0, we need to find the value of h. So when t is 0, we sub it here and here. So basically this whole thing will be 0, this one also 0. So ht will be 2. So 2. And then when t is 6, we need to find the value of h. Same thing, you sub the t here with 6. So we have negative 1 over 3, 6 squared plus 2 times 6 plus 2. We get 2 as well. So 0.6 also will be somewhere there. 6, 2. So our graph is going to be like this. Done. That's it. So as long as you have this, maybe you can draw a dotted line, or you can just show your calculations here. Then they would know that you've done some calculations lah. That's it. You get 2 marks from here. C. At what time does the ball hit the ground again? Okay, so this is the projectile motion of the ball. When it hits the ground means our h is 0 right here. So we need to find what's the time here. So obviously it has to be more than 6, because at 6 it is still at 2 meters. I mean it's 2 meters high. So it has to be a value more than 6 lah. Right, let's try to figure this one out. I think you can erase the whole thing. Okay. So when it hits the ground again means the height of the ball must be 0. So we can say this ht is 0. So negative 1 over 3t square plus 2t plus 2 equals to 0. Basically we are finding the roots. Okay, the roots of the equation. Alright. So first let's check if we can use the calculator straight. So let's factorize using calculator first to check. A is negative 1 over 3, B is 2, C is also 2. Ooh, we get decimals. Okay, if decimals, then we can't use the calculator straight. We have to show our full working. So we need to use the formula lah. negative b plus minus square root b square minus 4ac over 2a. So this will be our a, this will be our b, and this will be our c. Then we sub it in. Negative b plus minus square root of b square minus 4ac over 2a. Right. So here we are going to get two values. The first one will be negative 2 plus the square root divide negative 2 over 3, or the other one would be negative 2 minus square root divide by negative 2 over 3. Okay, let's see what goes in the square root. So 2 square minus 4 times negative 1 over 3 times 2. We get 20 over 3. The best is to write it in fraction because we get the exact value. If you use decimals, then you're already simplifying it. So basically we need to get these two values. Okay, so negative 2 plus 20 over 3 divided by negative 2 over 3. We get negative 0.873. And the other one would be minus, which will give us 6.873. Okay, so obviously we can't take this one because this is when the ball was here, which didn't happen because the ball started here. He's throwing the ball from here and then the ball is reaching the ground. So we are finding this root, not the first root. We are finding the positive root. So this would be the answer. And just now remember the answer had to be more than 6. So this would be the answer. 6.873 seconds later, the ball touches the ground. So right here, we just reject this guy. So we can say t is 6.873 seconds. That's it. Done. 14a. If a is the first term and d is the common difference, show that the sum of first n terms is this. So they want us to prove this formula. This is the sum of arithmetic progression. Alright, so what we can do first is we can list down the Sn. So the first term until the last term, we can add. So the first term of an arithmetic progression would be a. The second term would be a plus d. The third term would be a plus 2d. And then the last term would be a plus n minus 1d. Okay, this is because first term, when this is t1, we plus 0d. When this is t2, we plus 1d. When this is t3, we plus 2d. t4 would be 3d. So tn would be n minus 1d. Okay, you see 1 becomes 0, 2 becomes 1, 3 becomes 2, 4 becomes 3. So n would become n minus 1d. Okay, and then we have to find another Sn equation from the back. So from the last term. So the last term would be this, a plus n minus 1d. Okay. Then the second last term, and okay, this is the last term, second last, third last, and then the first term would be a back to a. Okay, so we are going in the opposite direction. Right. So first term is this, the last term is this. The second last term would be a plus n minus 2d. And then the third last would be a plus n minus 3d, and so on. So how I got these? Okay, the last term is n minus 1d. The term before that, you must minus another d. The term before that, you must minus another d. That's why it's 3. Okay, because we are going in the opposite direction. Going this way, we plus d, plus d, plus d, plus d. That's how arithmetic progression works. So here, we are going in the opposite direction, so we minus d, minus d, minus d, and so on. Right. So now, this is our first term, second term, third term, last term. From the back, this would be our first term, second term, third term, last term. So what we have to do now is we have to add these two. So Sn plus Sn, we get 2Sn. A plus this, A plus A will become 2A. So 2A plus n minus 1d. And then this plus this, A plus A is just 2A. N minus 2d plus d. So negative 2d plus d will give us 1d again, n minus 1d. Then here we have a plus a again, which is 2a. N minus 3d, this is 2d. Okay, I think here I think I wrote wrongly. The d should be outside. I don't know why I wrote inside. N minus 3d. Okay, anyway, so 3d, negative 3d plus 2d will get us back our negative 1d. So you can kind of see a pattern forming here. The last one would be a plus a is 2a plus n minus 1d as well. So you can see the same thing over and over again. Alamak, so I forgot to put plus. Okay. So we don't know how many. Okay, but we know it will be as many as n. So if you have 5 terms, that means you will have 5 of this plus 5 of this, right? So we can simplify, we can conclude that 2Sn would be n number of 2a plus n minus 1d. If you have 7 terms, you will have 7 times of this. So you could put 7. If you have 10, you will have 10 of these. So here you put 10. If you have n, you have to put n lah. So from here, Sn will be n over 2 times 2a plus n minus 1d. Quite a difficult proving this one. But yeah, 3 marks. I would rate this a solid 8 out of 10 lah. Okay, if you don't know the steps, it's going to be quite hard to figure out. Okay, so again, the first step would be defining Sn. You plus each individual term. Okay, a plus d plus d plus d each term. And then you find another equation from the back. So the last term, second last, third last, means you're going in reverse order. Then you add these two. Okay, you add these two, you get this. Then you kind of conclude that you have n number of 2a plus n minus 1d, then you solve. That's it. Done. 14b. X, y, and z are the first 3 terms in an arithmetic progression. Okay, so we write x, y, z. Then they said x and z are 2 consecutive multiples of 15. Okay, consecutive multiples of 15 means multiples of 15 would be 15, 30, 45, 60, 75, and so on. So consecutive multiples means their difference must be 15. Between 60 and 75, their difference must be 15. So we can say x, y, z will be x plus 15. Okay, because consecutive multiple. So plus 15 now. Right. So this is our progression. They want us to find the common difference. Alright. So our a is x. Our d we don't know, we want to find. but we have T3. T3 is in terms of x also, so we can use this. So T3 is x plus 15. Okay. So let's sub it into the Tn formula. Tn is a plus n minus 1 d. So T3 is x plus 3 minus 1, which is 2 d. And T3 we know the value. T3 is x plus 15. Right. So from here we can try to solve d. So both sides also got x, so we can cut. That means 2d is 15. So d will be 15 divided by 2, which is 7.5. This is the difference. Okay, this is one way to solve it. Another way is actually, if you realize x must plus something to get y, then plus something to get x plus 15. That means x plus 7.5 means the difference is 7.5 lah. 7.5 plus another 7.5 gets us x plus 15. So you can predict that way so, but this is the way where you can use your formula to actually find it lah. Okay, instead of predicting. Right. Then let's look at number 2. We do here. Find the value of x if 3z is this. Okay. So we already know x plus 15 is our z. We already solved that just now. Now they said 3z is this. So what we can do is we can try to multiply by 3 first. So 3x plus 45 equals to 3z. Then we can sub in the 3z equals to this into here. So 3x plus 45 equals to 2x plus y. Right. Then we try to expand. So 3x plus 45 is 2x plus 2y. And here we have two unknowns, so we have to try to figure out what is y. Just now, we already found the difference, 7.5, right? That means y would be x plus 7.5. Then plus another 7.5, you get this. So you can say y is x plus 7.5. So you can sub this into our equation. So we get 3x plus 45 equals to 2x plus 2y. Then we expand. Two times 7.5 would be 15. Right. So here we get 4x. We bring the 3x here. 45, we bring the 15 over here. So we get x equals to 30. Done. This will be our answer for 14B1 and 2. Done. And last question, 15A1. Derive the double angle formula sine 2 theta equals to 2 sine theta cos theta. Okay. So here what we can do is, we can say sine 2 theta is sine theta plus theta. Okay, why we can do this is, then we can use the addition formula. So this formula is given in the formula sheet. So here we have addition of sine. So we can use this formula to derive lah. So here they said sine theta plus theta, a plus b, will be, in this case both a and b will be theta lah. So we'll get this. So we can say sine theta cos theta plus cos theta sine theta. Okay. Then we must know that sine theta cos theta and cos theta sine theta are the exact same thing, because it's cos times sine is equivalent to sine times cos. So we can say this is equivalent to 2 sine theta cos theta. Done. We already derived lah. That's it. Okay, done. Alright, let's look at number 2. Hence solve the equation for sine theta cos theta equals to 1. Okay. So when they say hence, that means you must use the answer from the previous question to solve this. So here we already figured out that sine 2 theta is 2 sine theta cos theta. Here we have 4 sine theta cos theta. So what we can do is, 4 is 2 times 2, right? So we write 2 sine theta cos theta equals to 1. So this 2 sine theta cos theta will equal to sine 2 theta. So 2 sine 2 theta equals to 1. Then from here we have to solve. So sine 2 theta will be 1 over 2. Alright. Okay, whenever we get double angles here, you should not forget that our range we have to times 2. Because the range for theta is between 0 to 360. Here we are dealing with double angle. So our range for 2 theta would be 0 to 720. So here we need to solve for 2 rotations. Okay, so if we have our add sugar to coffee, we must go 2 rounds. Okay, never mind, that one we come back later. Right, so to solve this first, what we can do is, the easiest thing would be we let 2 theta equals to x first. So we can easily solve x. So we say sine x equals to 1 over 2. Okay, so x would be shift sine 1 over 2. This will give us shift sine 1 over 2, 30. Okay, so this will be our reference angle. Okay, so our reference angle is 30, and here our sine theta is positive. So if sine theta is positive, our answer would be in this quadrant and this quadrant. Okay, so we can say x is in the first quadrant, which is 30. X is also in the second quadrant. Second quadrant, the formula is 180 minus x. So 180 minus 30. This will give us 150. Okay. So this is the first round. We got 30 and 150. You want to do the second round? Each answer just plus 360. So another 2 values of x would be 30 plus 360, which is 390. And another value of x would be 150 plus 360, which is 510 degrees. So our x has 4 values. Okay, so I can write here x is 30, 150, 390, and 510. Okay, so x is, just now we already substitute x as 2 theta. So here we can, instead of writing x, we can also write 2 theta. Right, this is not our final answer yet. Our answer is finding theta. So since now we have 4 values of 2 theta, finding theta will be very easy. Everything you just divide it by 2. So this one is 15, this one is 75, 390 divided 2, 195, 510 divided 2 is 255. This will be our final answer. Okay, so we check back. Our theta, they said, must be between 0 and 360. Our theta is within 0 to 360. Okay, because when you divide it by 2, you will get the proper values lah. You'll get within 360. Okay, only for 2 theta, your range goes until 720. So for theta, we'll come back to 360. So this will be our answer. Done. 15b. Diagram 9 shows a triangle ABC. Based on triangle ABC, find the value of tangent A plus B without using a calculator. Okay. So this is angle A. This is angle B. So if we look at it as separate right angle triangles, we can solve this length. And if you look at this triangle, we can solve this length. Pythagoras theorem lah, because right angle triangle. So let's do that first. Let's call this x. Okay, so let's find the length of AX first. Okay. So Pythagoras theorem states that this square plus this square equals to this square. So we can say AX square plus 2 square equals to 2 third 2 square. A square plus B square is C square. And then here, BX square plus 2 square equals to third 5 square. Right, then we can find the value of AX and BX. So here AX would be the square root of this minus this. So we just put this in our calculator. 2 square, oops, square is outside here, minus 2 square, then square root the answer, we get 2. So AX is basically square root of 4, which is equal to 2. So we can say this is 2 from here to here. Right, then this side, BX will be the square root of third 5 square is just 5. 5 minus 2 square is 1. So this is square root of 1. Square root of 1 is just 1. So BX is 1. That's just should be correct lah. Even though it doesn't look like it makes sense, but apparently that's 1 and 2. Okay, so once we are done with that, we can try to solve the value of tangent A plus B. Okay, so let me put all these. I just erase this lah. This one we don't need. Okay, tangent A plus B, the formula we can find from the formula sheet in front. This will be our formula for tangent A plus B. So what we can do is, we first figure out what is tangent A first. So tangent A would be opposite over adjacent. Our opposite is 2, adjacent is also 2. So 2 over 2, which is 1. And then tangent B will also be opposite over adjacent, opposite, adjacent. So 2 over 1, which is 2. So then we can say tangent A plus B is tangent A, which is 1, plus tangent B, which is 2, divide by 1 minus tangent A tangent B. Okay, so if we're taking plus, this plus is on top, so we have to take the top symbol, then the top symbol here is negative. So 1 minus tangent A tangent B. So this will give us 3 over 1 minus 2 is negative 1. So we get total of negative 3. Done. So we have to do this without our calculator, but obviously like for Pythagoras theorem you can use calculator lah. Okay, but if you can without calculator, so still you can manage to do the Pythagoras theorem actually. Okay, basically they just want to say that you cannot use the angles to solve this question. Okay, that means you cannot go and find what is this angle, and then solve the tangent A plus B using the angles. That's what they were trying to say. But that's it. That is the last question for this paper. Hope you guys can understand. If you got any questions, you can just drop it down in the chat, the comments lah. Okay, I'll see you guys in the next paper. Bye bye.